What is going on? I am Matt O'Leary, back with another video, here to hang out with you on a lovely Wednesday afternoon. It's set to be a busy day for the New York Jets, and there were some things that I thought were worth covering today, and wanted to get started with Jadeveon Clowney meeting with the New York Jets. Now, no breakfast sandwiches to seal the deal for this one. What a story that was yesterday with NYJ Matt sending over the Taylor ham or pork roll, depending on where you're from, egg and cheese sandwich for our guy Mike Williams, who signs with the New York Jets. But Jadeveon Clowney today is meeting with the Jets, and I want to talk about why I think he would be a really good fit with this New York Jets team. So yes, he's a little bit older now at this point in his career at 30 years old, but he's coming off the best season of his career. He had 70 plus pressures and 9.5 sacks. It was by far his best year as a pass rusher, and that was kind of my biggest critique with him early on in his career, was that he was someone who was very good against the run, but was inconsistent as a pass rusher. And while the first few times the Jets were linked to him in like 2020, we're talking like 4 years ago, early Matt O'Leary NY videos where I was like, I don't know if Jadeveon Clowney's really the right fit for this Jets team. But fast forward 4 years or so, the Jets don't have a glaring hole for pass rushing edge guys. What they need is someone who is really good against the run and someone who can give you something as a pass rusher with, which is exactly what Jadeveon Clowney does at 9.5 sacks and 70 plus pressures last year. I think he would be a great fit. And the thought of offenses, trying to run on this New York Jets defense on early downs with Jadeveon Clowney, Jermaine Johnson, you also have John Franklin Myers and Quinnen Williams on the interior. You're starting to get somewhere. And Leaky Fotu, you're starting to really build something here, because if there was any little criticism of this New York Jets last year, it was that they struggled at times, not all the time, but at times against the run. That was maybe the biggest gripe you could come up with, and they could really go a long way to solving that if they end up signing Jadeveon Clowney on what would probably be like a 1 year, we'll call it $8 to $10 million, somewhere in that range. Maybe cap number sitting around $7 million, something like that, with incentives that can get over 10, kind of like what we saw with the Tyron Smith deal and like what we saw with Mike Williams' contract yesterday. So Morgan Moses spoke with the media today via Zoom, and there was an interesting quote that was shared online from the press conference or the meeting with the media online. And it was that Morgan Moses admitted to playing through an injury last year.
Definitely, man. I actually tore my pec week 4, which was pretty fun. And I played the whole season with it, and just learned how to manage through it and everything like that. And I had surgery about 6 weeks ago, sorry. But I'm feeling great. I'm moving around. I'm working out, getting back in shape and things like that. And so I look forward to just getting around the guys and obviously doing the things that I need to do to get back on the field, and prepare myself the way I need to. And obviously this is not my first rodeo with having surgery and things like that. So, I like the fact that I was able to, pretty much go through the whole season with that injury and play at a high level. So I look forward to having 2 arms this year. So it's been a fun ride.
Moses suffered a torn pec in week 4 and played 14 games last year. Are you kidding me? Playing through the rest of the season with a torn pec is absolutely insane. Now, look at what he did last year, and he was a productive right tackle. I would classify him as an above average right tackle in the NFL, and he did it while having a torn pectoral muscle. He had surgery, in his words, 6 weeks ago at this point. He's fully expected to be ready to go for training camp. But another reason on top of just pointing out how ridiculous of an athlete Morgan Moses is to play through that, another reason to bring it up is because I think this speaks to just how important the Jets' offensive line depth is going to be this year. I'm not saying the Jets absolutely have to take an offensive lineman 10th overall, but the reason why I don't think that pick is going to be ruled out is because neither Morgan Moses or Tyron Smith are long-term answers. And then also at the same time, both guys at their age are going to have major injury risk. Morgan Moses had surgery this offseason. He tore his pec. And I think he can come back and perform at a high level. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because of how good he's been in his career. But you want an insurance policy there. As for Tyron Smith, he misses time every single year. You're getting 13 games from him probably this season. And you're going to need someone to come in and start a few games for him when he gets banged up at some point during the season. Do you feel comfortable with Carter Warren and Max Mitchell? That's going to be up to the Jets. That is up to the Jets to decide how they feel about their offensive line depth. And that's why I don't think that just because the Jets went out and signed Tyron Smith and went out and traded for Morgan Moses, that you're just going to scratch off offensive line as a need in the draft. They still should look to add to that unit and to continue out building the depth. It doesn't have to be in round one. It can be in round one, but more needs to be done on the offensive line because of Morgan Moses and Tyron Smith's injuries in the past. Mike Williams, the man of the hour, also spoke to the media today, and here's what he had to say on why he chose the New York Jets.
Well, for me personally, I just felt like it was a great fit for me. Aaron, I want to be able to, play with him, pick his brain, learn from him. Playing alongside Garrett kind of remind me of Keenan a little bit, similar style play, great route runners, and I feel like we can complement each other in that area. The running game is pretty good. Defense is elite. So I just feel like we got a pretty good opportunity ahead of us. Just looking forward to it.
His answer is pretty much the reason why I thought and made the case that he should come to the New York Jets is because of Aaron Rodgers. And when you're looking at the other teams that were interested in Mike Williams, it was the New York Jets, the Carolina Panthers, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. When you look at a guy who's coming off an injury, who's going to have to sign a one-year deal and is looking to cash in again, where is he most likely to come in and perform at a high level so that he can cash in and get another contract and get a bigger contract? Is it the Jets? Is it the Steelers? Or is it the Carolina Panthers? The answer is the Jets because they have the best quarterback out of the bunch. And the Jets had major issues on the offensive side of the ball last year. Nathaniel Hackett's not a good play caller. All things are completely valid when you bring those things up. But in comparison to the Panthers have Bryce Young going into his second season. They're the worst team in the NFL last year. They had to pay massive, insane contracts to get guys like Robert Hunt, $100 million to come in and play on this offensive line. They are not going to be a good football team this year, and there are major questions about Bryce Young. Can he take a step and turn out to be an NFL quarterback? Of course, anything is possible. I don't think it's fair to just completely write him off and say that there's no chance he can succeed in this league, but that's a major question mark because we didn't see it in year one. And then for the Pittsburgh Steelers, you have Russell Wilson, who's a veteran, looking to kind of get back on track in his career. And then they just acquired Justin Fields. So you don't really know who's going to be the quarterback there. I'm assuming Russell Wilson's going to be the starter, but is it a guarantee that he's starting the entire season? Does Justin Fields get, do the fans pressure Mike Tomlin and they end up switching to Justin Fields at some point during the season? And is that going to be a high octane offense? No, probably not. So the Jets are the best choice, or were the best choice, and that's why I thought it made sense for him to choose the Jets, especially on the contract that he got. The one-year deal up to $15 million. It's incentivized as well. Wise decision from Mike Williams. Let me know your thoughts on these topics of the day for the New York Jets down below in the comments. Once again, I am Matt O'Leary. Make sure to subscribe if you're new. Give the video a like before you go, and I will catch you next time.